Let's be real for a second. How often do you really listen when someone's talking to you? Most of us don't. We're either waiting for our turn to respond, checking our phone, or thinking about how to sound smart in the next sentence. But here's the thing. If you want to be a better leader, a better teammate, or even just a better human being, you have to master active listening. Because listening, real intentional listening, is the most underrated skill in today's workplace. Hi, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be looking at active listening hacks that can make you a far better leader. Now, there's a quote from Stephen R. Convoy that I love. The biggest problem in communication is that we do not listen to understand, we listen to reply. So, why does active listening matter? Great leaders don't just speak well, they listen deeply. A research by Harvard Business Review shows that managers who practice active listening are 60% more effective in leading high performance teams. That is a whole 60% more than the average leader. The thing about active listening is that it builds trust, it reduces misunderstanding, strengthens teams, and it also increases employee engagement and conflict resolution. The reality of most of what we do as leaders is that we have to spend most of our time listening, and you have to listen well, because depending on how well you listen to the individuals around you will determine how effective you are at being a leader. It's quite interesting that such a seemingly small detail can create such a wide gap between those leaders who are highly effective, performing in the highest level, and those who are just getting along. So, this is to keep in mind that listening equals leadership. In order to be a good leader, you have to learn how well to listen. So, one of the most sincere forms of respect is actually listening to what another has to say. That's the most sincere form of showing respect to another individual. To say, I am not going to take you for granted. I'm not going to take our time for granted. I'm going to listen to you clearly, understand what you're trying to say, and then not in any way, shape, or form disrespect your opinion. So, hack number one, stay fully present. It's very important while you are listening to eliminate distraction and fully engage in the conversation you're trying to have. Put away your phone, close all the relevant tabs. It's for the relevant tabs, especially if you're on a remote work. About you're in a meeting with someone, it is completely wrong for you to say you want to start doing work while you're having a meeting with somebody. You need to ensure that as much as possible, you are focused only on the individuals you are speaking with. Make eye contact and use open body language. By open body language, I mean don't cross your arms, don't squeeze your face. Try as much as possible to be relaxed, open, and as much as possible, make eye contact. Most people avoid doing that, and it makes them look shifty, it makes them look uninterested. You need to look at the person in the eyes as you speak to them. The other point is to show interest through small verbal cues. I see, go on. Well, that makes sense. Most of the time, when we are trying to listen, if you want to know someone who is fully engaged in what you're trying to tell them, the person is asking you questions. They are trying to learn more. It's like, oh, what does that mean? No. Wow, that really, I didn't see it that way. That's how you know this person is really engaged in conversation. Now, the average person remembers only 25 to 50% of what they hear in a conversation. So, in other words, there's half chance that you're going to remember any of it. But what they will remember is how well you treated them while they were speaking. Hack number two, reflect and rephrase. You need to show that you understand. Paraphrase what has been said to you. You can start with saying, so what I'm hearing is, or you could also say, I didn't see it that way. Can you please clarify what you mean by so and so? Clarify before responding. Don't just assume a meaning. Most of the problems that arise in misunderstandings comes from somebody has said something and then the other person interprets it in a completely different light. It's always very important. You want to be active, intentional about your listening to clarify what exactly is being said. If you are not sure, ask question. And next up is to show empathy and ensure accuracy. So, for example, the speaker says, I feel overwhelmed by the workload. You can respond by saying, you are feeling overloaded and need more support, right? Because that's what you would want to clarify. What are you trying to say exactly? Let me understand your viewpoint. That is very important. Hack number three is to listen for emotion, not just words. Pay attention to how something is said. More often than not, when it comes to verbal communication, the things that are said is not as important as how it is being said. Body language, tone, pauses, all these things tell you far more than the actual words that are being used. Respond to the emotion behind the message. It sounds like this is really frustrating for you. That helps the individual who you are speaking to know that you are really listening beyond what they're actually saying. You are paying attention to the details. It's a it's a very easy thing to have to completely forget because most times when we're having conversations, we tend to we'll listen with our ears halfway there, maybe barely pay attention. Meanwhile, we're trying to think of what we are going to respond to that. But as much as possible, especially when you want to have important conversations, it is crucial that you listen for emotion and not just the words that are being said. Next up is don't rush to fix. Most people are very highly logical. They see a problem and they immediately go, oh, I have a solution. More often than not, when somebody is expressing something to you, they don't want solutions, they just want validation. Instead of here's what you should do, try that sounds tough, tell me more. That validates the individual's struggle and makes them not feel like they are just a project for you. Because listening first, that's what will help you build the emotional safety and trust. If after they have listened, the person then asks you, what do you suggest I do? Then at that point, you can then offer a solution. But don't jump into solutions. Don't jump into trying to fix before the person has really landed what they're trying to say. The fact of the story is as well, leaders who listen before responding, this is important. Leaders who listen before responding are rated 40% higher in emotional intelligence by their teams. Now, just the aspect of listening before responding is the difference between 40% higher than the average leader. Small differences, small hacks, vast, vast potential difference. So don't rush to fix, just hear them out. Now, the final hack here is to summarize and commit to follow up. End conversations with clarity. If there's any takeaways you want to summarize, if they've asked your opinion on the matter, you can say, here's what I'll do next, or don't just leave the conversation open-ended with holes and gaps. Make sure you close the loop positively. Confirm you've understood what the person was saying. Confirm you know what the follow-up is going to be and check in with them regularly. Perhaps they express to you that they are frustrated with their team member. Create steps to have future conversations with them and ask them, how are you doing now? Is there any way I can come in? Is there anything you need? Oh, how are you feeling about this particular problem you were having back then? Do you still have issues with it? All those steps, all those future consistent follow up is what builds that emotional bond, is what builds that trust, and it's what helps you be far more effective at leadership than the vast majority of other people. Now, to recap, ways to become highly effective as a leader when it comes to active listening is to stay fully present, reflect and rephrase, listen for emotion, don't rush to fix, summarize, and follow up. So, we have gone through all these different stages, and at the end of the story, the key takeaway here is this: if you want to go deeper and start building your own emotional intelligence and leadership confidence, you have to learn how to listen actively and listen with intention. Now, the leadership impact is this: while listening leaders stand out because it improves collaboration and innovation, it strengthens team morale and trust, and it turns conflict into connection. Because when people feel heard, they feel valued, and valued people perform far better than the average individual because they are bonded with their team. They are part of a bigger picture. They feel connected to you as their leader. So, thank you so much. Let me know in the comments below what's your pet peeve when it comes to conversations. And please practice one of these listening hacks in your next meeting. I've created a customized personal growth plan just for you. It's free, it's simple, and it's linked in the bio. It will help you discover your strengths, improve how you communicate, and become the kind of leader people want to follow. If you like this video, please leave a like, share, and subscribe for more weekly content like this. And with all that being said, thank you so much for your time. I'll see you all in the next video.
Okay, let's go.